Guys, welcome. This one's a bit different. Um, so, let me see. The sound is gonna be kind of odd because there's no music and whatnot. But today I wanted to actually talk about that. The whole fact that there's some games that are actually better when you don't have music on. It's like more immersive. I feel like some games ruin this. For instance, let's go with something I'm playing right now. Let's go with Once Human. Uh, to preface this a bit, the game is a survival open world, kind of. It's like an MMO RPG, right? There's some controversial systems in there. We're not talking about those. We're talking about like the music itself. And one, wait, what's this on my hand? Can you guys see this? uh, Click with the right controller. What? Oh, I get like a menu. Anyways, what I was saying is ignore the menu on my hand. What I was saying is the music kind of sometimes ruins the game immersiveness. The game is like a thriller, scary kind of game. What happens is when you go and fight an enemy, music starts to play. Like, I know what you're thinking. What's wrong with that? For me personally, I'll tell you what's wrong with that. It's the whole fact that the game feels more like a scary horror game if I don't know the enemy is around the corner. If I don't know I'm still in combat. The only thing I would know is the hearing of the clicking or gurgling sounds around the corner. Like, I wouldn't know until I look at them or something. There's so many enemies and stuff in that game, for instance, where it's like, oh, wow, if I didn't have the music on, I wouldn't have known it was there, kind of thing. Like, you get to hear how intimidating the enemies are if you turn off the music in Once Human. It changes the game aspect of it. Music, I feel like, ruined even another game, which I only watched, called Stellar Blade. It's an action game, action RPG. So, although it doesn't exactly ruin for it, for me personally, the immersive style of it kind of feels ruined. It turns it more into like a clone of Near Automata, which isn't bad per se. It's more of the I'm not there for the music. The music puts you into the zone, but what it doesn't do is give you the feeling of emptiness or the feeling of isolation that the game is supposed to be a lot of the times because they just pick up the instruments and start playing. I don't know. I feel like a lot of games recently have been doing that too, where they add music to places where it feels a bit unnecessary. I mean, I wouldn't mind if there was like systems around where you can do it, but for me personally, I would love to leave music on in the game, but also have like a utility item to turn on music. You know what I mean? So let's say I had a radio, like or an MP3 player, like those old ones that had like the disc or whatever. Uh, if I had something like that to walk around with, and maybe like earphones, where it like infects or affects my gameplay to where like I wouldn't be able to hear the enemies so well, and stuff like that, I think would be fine. But the fact that it changes the music when like enemies are nearby, uh, no, that's not what we want. What we want is like something like music over it, something that doesn't get affected, like music that doesn't affect the gameplay, which would be nice. Well, no, that's not right either. I want music that affects the gameplay in the way of it doesn't like impede and like helps you. I want it to be impede's the wrong word, isn't it? Basically, if I'm listening to music, I don't want to be able to hear the enemies coming by me. I just want to be able to hear the music. Same song, not having it change to battle music. I also want what's it called? If I have it on like a speaker or something, it attracts enemies. Just stuff like that. Like I want it to be more immersive and more part of the game. I don't want it as like a what's the word for it? An extra, just an extra feature in the way of it feels like unnecessary, but if you like it, you can put it on kind of thing. I want it to be like if you like it and you put it on, there will still be like other problems with it. Just like how you choose like a certain play style and whatnot. I don't know. I feel like that's just me. But if it's a game like where it revolves around music already, or it's a game that it doesn't matter with music, those are the kinds of games I think would be still fine. Like I don't complain about those ones. Like Zenless Zone Zero, for instance, that's the kind of game where it's like the music on or off doesn't really impede anything whatsoever because the gameplay is kind of straightforward for combat and whatnot. I will say though, music around town, although it's nice and pleasant, and it reminds me of like Persona 5, if you turn off the music, it still feels more immersive, which is another thing I was trying to point out from the very beginning. And I don't know if I got that point across. Still good though. In games like that, I feel like it's alright at some points, but there are parts where it's like it's better without the music. But I feel like that's yeah, this entire thing is just obviously my opinion, probably a hot take at that. And I feel like a lot of people probably don't agree with it, but that's my thoughts on these kinds of subjects. I want to know what your guys' thoughts for music are. Like, do you think games right now are handling it correctly, or like, what do you think about my idea about how the music should be used? But yeah, um, I'm sorry this one isn't as my usual videos of like reactions with other people and whatnot, but I just had to get this out there, and I could not find anything online to like talk about it, so I had to make my own. I wanted to like see if anyone agreed, but this will have to do. I'll see you guys later with hopefully more of these when I have like these strange hot takes or whatnot. But until then, bop, 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 bop. Have a good night or day or evening or morning. You know what, I'm just gonna go.